Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for those who are new here, I am Psychic Bella Love. This is your daily spiritual guided message for Sunday, January 31st, 2021. So I am really excited. I was talking on Station Head earlier, and thank you guys for those of you who joined us. I ordered a few different like angel and oracle decks. They're not like Doreen Virtue type angel decks, so hopefully they are good, because I'm very picky about card stock and how cards shuffle, if I'm going to use them often or not. But one of the decks that I ordered, I just asked Carlene for her address too, so I can get them for her. They're supposed to be really good at like using them to lead guided meditations to get answers directly from the angels. So plus reading for others with them as well as yourself. Like, they're supposed to be really like cool to work with. So I'm excited, because I was just like, ooh, like we can do like some group like healing readings or something on live sometime soon. And if you wanted to book your own personal private reading with me, by the way, all my information is in the description box below. You can go to my website, psychicbellalove.com. Make sure you use coupon code Barbie, all in caps. Today's the last day that it will be good for 25% off. If you are booking any day after this, then use code BELLA20 and that will get you 20% off at checkout. So Spirit, please join us and answer any questions that we have in regards to what messages do we need to know to be prepared for Sunday, January 31st, 2021. Thank you, Spirit. And you guys, and again, we are going to do a TI and Tiny reading. I'm probably going to do it tomorrow. My kid ended up being here today, and so usually he's not here, so we were trying to spend some time together. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But what I was gonna say is, there's gonna be like, one thing I will say is there's gonna be a lot of people coming out and telling not true stories that sound like other people's stories, just because it's like, oh, I can hop on the clout train over here because I was at that party, even though nothing happened to me when I was there and I was in another room the entire time. I'm going to lie and say, oh yeah, I was one of the people that was going on with too, just so that way they have an excuse to kind of, you know, put their name out there and say something. But there is going to be a lot of true stories coming out too about different things. Not even just the stuff that everybody's talking about right now, but like, oh, like he ripped me off and never paid me for some sneakers 5 years ago, and you know, it was a $2,500 bill that never got paid. Like, stuff like that is gonna come out too, because I just feel like when people, the longer it takes them to really get exposed when they've been doing some crazy stuff, it's like, it seems like more and more and more and more and more than ever like comes out all at the same time too, if that makes sense. So that's something that I feel like this whole next week we're going to be hearing, you know, this person, that person, oh, remember how so-and-so was in a picture with them at that party? Were they involved? You know, it's really going to be a lot of speculation and a lot of stories coming out. So hopefully when I get to sit down and do the reading tomorrow on this, you know, we'll get some clarity. But I kept getting that because I was thinking about, when am I going to sit down and film this? And I just kept getting this download of, oh my God, there's going to be so much more coming out. So the first thing that we have here is, there's somebody who's really just sort of tired of, like, it's like you're tired of lying to yourself. You're tired of, you know, like, it's like, I can't pretend anymore that I'm happy with the way that things have been going. You know, have I been absolutely like miserable and on the edge of like, you know, giving up or anything like that. No, you know, but have I sort of been living in a fog and just going through life day to day and not actually really truly enjoying myself? Yes. And so it's like you feel like you've been holding yourself back. You feel like you've been punishing yourself because there was something that happened, like a heartbreak that put you in this sort of, you know, self-restricted, almost like you, it's almost like, oh, I leave the house, I go to work, I do all the things that society requires of me, but then I lock myself away like I'm some sort of prisoner, or I'm some sort of like leper that cannot be like out in society because I'm gonna cause all these people some crazy pain looking at my horrendous face or something. And it's like, but just because somebody else didn't want to be with you doesn't mean that everybody else doesn't want to be around you. And now you're really starting to realize, like, this was me. This is, I chose to put myself in this. Like, it was a self-imprisonment, you know? And now it's like figuring out, how do I take myself out of that and go back out into the world like, hello world, I have arrived. Because you not only are like, I am ready to make changes, you're like, I am ready to make changes. So whoever this is, you might have like some really strong like Leo rising or Aries rising, like some really strong placement, fire in, you know, one of the houses of how you present yourself to the world. Again, I'm not an astrologer, I'm just still learning this kind of stuff, because it does feel like this Leo, oh, hello there, darling, you know, with the fur coat and the, oh, take my parasol, darling, I would like to have lunch on the veranda today. Kind of like, I am re-entering into society, and now I have decided that I am now a society lady, because that's what I always dreamt would make me happy. And if I'm gonna actually put my happiness first, darling, then, you know, we're gonna do the things that we always knew would make us happy, and that's my dream. It's like really cute though. I like it. And Spirit is saying they really want you to be very in touch with your inner child. Like, what was the stuff that you really ultimately thought was going to make you happy when you grow up? And think about that. Does that dream still hold any like value to you? Does that still sound like something that you always, you know, were drawn to and thought like, gee, that would actually end up being fun? Because they're talking about allow yourself to imagine almost as if you were playing the part of Tom Hanks in Big, you know, when you wake up and it's like, I'm in this adult body, so I have the ability to do all these adult things, but I'm a kid, so what would I want to do as an adult? They're like, go to that place inside of yourself and then decide, you know, if you're ready to go out there and live and you want to go create this new life for you, then take the leadership as the author of your own life and tap into what your childlike, you know, sort of ideal of what the ideal adult life would look like, and start really figuring out, how do I do that for myself? Because you do deserve it. So I'm proud of you. Okay. So our next one, if there was like this group of people who were sort of conspiring against somebody because for whatever reason, it's like you were being nice to them, or you were like the new person at work or something. So there was this sort of perceived weakness that they sort of saw in you. And so it was like, oh, well, even though you're being nice to us, we're still gonna like smile in your face but talk shit about you behind your back. And then it ended up becoming sort of an issue where either, you know, you did have to have some words with these people, or you just had to completely take a step back. There's talking here about there is going to be somebody who is going to expose them for what they've been doing. It's like, if, say, for example, you know, they're going around trying to cause all these problems behind people's backs, stop people's bags, just start crap between people, whatever. It's like, there is somebody that they're gonna do this to that's gonna actually like flip out on them in a way that, you know, it could be all the way from, hey, I'm gonna have a Trisha Paytas moment on the internet and like tell you about yourself, to I'm gonna, you know, finally tell that bitch Susan in the coffee room what she's made out of, you know. But it's like, either way, whatever the circle is that this like person is entrenched in, whether it is the YouTube streets or the Susan in the coffee room at the post office streets, that person's corner of the world is going to be aware that they got themselves caught up in some drama because they was doing some like bunk stuff that they shouldn't have been doing to people. So it feels like, you know, how like right now, as if we didn't think that Shane Dawson was a shitty enough person, being all the other things he's been exposed for or accused of that we cannot say on this channel if we want to ever stay monetized. And we do, because me and Carly need to get plane tickets for our trip. So, but the thing is, you know, it's, now what is everybody saying? He's a gossip, he's a horrible friend. Like, people are taking the idea of somebody going around and like just gossiping about people as this huge, horrible, awful like transgression, right? That's how this person or this group of people is going to be treated. They're going to be the Shane Dawson of their world right now. So this is talking about, this may not necessarily be exactly this week or exactly today that this happens. This is definitely something that happens during this Mercury retrograde energy, though. Yesterday is the 30th, was like the official day of Mercury retrograde, like officially being in, but you know, we get the energy 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after. So you're looking at, we have about 3.5 to 5.5 weeks for this event to transpire, but I don't think it's going to take until the very end. It's just, you know, keep in mind that this is a Mercury retrograde special. And I love those moments in Mercury retrograde. So yeah, you have the cards of 3 of Cups, 7 of Wands, 10 of Wands, 2 of Wands, 4 of Wands, King of Coins. So it's somebody that's in a position of power, or that they take on this position of power that shows up as this King of Coins, who's the one that, you know, ends up telling Susan to shut her freaking pie hole finally. Listen, Rich Lux has Yolanda, and we have that bitch Susan from the coffee room. We all have those, you know, imaginary annoying ass people that we cannot stand. Although, shout out to my bestie Carlene. We might change that one to the Gremlins or Hakuna Matata. That is an inside joke that only she will get. So, anyways, okay, it's gonna be very tempting for one of you today to just completely like leave your marriage, quit your job, run away. Please don't do it though, even though you are gonna feel like you are pushed to your limits. It's like, but this is talking about you being emotionally exhausted. And what they want you to understand is, what is this a bigger symptom of? You know, is it that you were just trying to force yourself to do so much all by yourself, and you really need to just start asking others for help so that you don't get to this place where you're so entirely emotionally drained? Do you need to, you know, tell your boss at work, hey, listen, I need some mental health days, and just stay in bed and eat pizza and watch Lifetime movies, you know, for a couple days until you feel better? What is it that you personally need that you have been neglecting in yourself? Because when you're neglecting things in yourself, then you start to allow others to neglect those things that you need as well. So maybe, yeah, you know, because you haven't been taking care of yourself, your partner hasn't been as present for you. But it's like, where did it begin with you? And how do you start to address it for you instead of having to be like, I'm out of this relationship, I'm moving to Antarctica, screw this, I hate everybody, because, you know, Tuesday morning you're gonna wake up and be like, well, the rent was due yesterday, I don't have a job anymore, my husband has moved out, and I don't feel any better than I felt before I did all that shit. I feel worse now, so what am I gonna do now? Like, don't, you know, just try to kind of rein it in a little bit, because, again, they're saying it is a symptom of a bigger problem as to what are you ignoring for yourself, but also in the long term, what are you, you know, like, what would be the long-term effects? It's not worth it. So then our last pile, we have the Six of Swords, the Strength, the Three of Coins, Five of Cups, and Page of Wands. One of you is just going to have to face the fact you've been ignoring, even though this person constantly does cause you pain. Because this is somebody who has like toxic, manipulative, gaslighting, F-boy kind of energy all over them. And it's like, but you've been just, I don't know if this is like your mom, some guy that you've always had a crush on, whoever, but it's like you have just held on to the idea of this person needs to love me because of their role in my life, instead of it being, do I even really love this person who doesn't exactly treat me nice? And so what they're saying is it is really time to drop the illusion or the idea of, oh, but because this person's my cousin, or because we, you know, are engaged or whatever. If this person's a crappy person, it's time to really just wake up and realize they've only caused you pain. They're only going to bring you more pain. And it's just time to move on, because all you're doing is hurting yourself, allowing them to stay in your life. So it is sort of like, okay, somebody's going to have to make a wake-up call today and make that cut. But again, remember that, you know, we've talked about this multiple times. Sometimes when you let go of a toxic person, well, probably like 99.999% of the time, a big blessing will always appear, because they were blocking your energy, number one, and because it is your confirmation from the universe of, hey, look, you were paying attention, so now we get to give you a little present. You know, that's what you get when you listen. You get cookies. So let's see. Dear you, sometimes you just feel like no one understands you, you're not heard, or even that you don't count. This, my dear, is a terrible illusion, and although your feelings tell you that abandonment is real, well, we who love you know better. You are never alone, and even when rejection happens, you are ultimately being protected so better things can replace what wouldn't have worked in the first place. Everyone on this side of the veil is watching over you and rooting for your ultimate success. Life loves you, we love you, and you are a unique spark of the divine and always connected to the light and to source. You are always in our care. Trust and keep the faith. Love you always and forever. I love this, like, last part of this. I just want to repeat this. Everyone on this side of the veil is watching over you and rooting for your ultimate success. Life loves you, we love you, and you are a unique spark of the divine and always connected to the light and to source. You are always in our care. Trust and keep the faith. Like, that's just so beautiful. You know, we really never are alone, because our ancestors, our guides, our angels, God, they're always with us. And that's why I always say I'd rather hang out with them than humans any day, because they can honestly do way more for me than a human can. But you humans, I do love you too. Thank you all so much. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you wanted to book your own personal private reading, all the information is in the description box below. And I will see you guys all again soon with another video. Bye, guys.